myself, because it's really easy to say, you were you were dumb. How could you do any of the things that you did when you were 21? But I would never talk to a friend of mine who's my age, who's telling me stories about what she did when she was, I would never talk to someone like that. I would never think of anyone like that. So why am I not giving myself that same grace that makes us feel icky and feel like we're not deserving of? When I first started getting attention, it was the first time I had gotten attention in my entire life. Wow. And I felt like all of my happiness and all of my confidence and validation depended on me looking good. And it was
your porn star here.
That was really, really scary.
And men's attention.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly whose attention I thought that's whose attention I was chasing.
Is that not part of the profession? Well, call me crazy. Maybe I should have had like Sterling Cooper in for this one. So I told you I was going to let you just chew on this, but I got to chime in here a little bit.
I mean, of course, I think every young woman can relate to that, but especially if you felt like you hadn't had it and then all of a sudden you had it.
Yeah. I am the most active on TikTok when I am the most depressed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's an outlet.
Yeah. When I was like deep in my,
actually, let's back this up. I'm sorry, I gotta back this one. This is too good. I gotta push this out here. Here we go. Let's go. Let's just take this one at a time. This is too easy. We will get to the age thing here. I think it's towards the end, but the build up here is what's really important in all of this. So this is Mia Khalifa and Emily Ratatouille. And I didn't even know Emily had a podcast going until this started making the rounds. So this is two women, by the way. So let's before we get too deep in the weeds here, understand this. Mia Khalifa is 29 years old. She's done porn pretty much all her life. I don't think she has gone to college, as far as I know. I don't know enough about the porn, her, right? For lack of, well, you know what? Actually, not for lack of a better term. She's a prostitute. Let's just be honest here. She's not a sex worker. I'm tired of using their language, that language. She's a prostitute. Let's just call her what. She's not a therapist. She's not a wise individual. She's not a relationship expert. Clearly, I think what was she married for? Everybody say hi, Akis, whatever your name is. There you go. She's a prostitute. End of story. Like, can we just call hi, bro? But she's a pro. She's a pro, right? Yeah, good call. She's a prostitute. She meets every definition of a prostitute. Can we just at least be honest about that? So where do we get the sort of respect and the integrity and everything? We have to remember where our starting point is here. Now, that said, she has a history degree, really, in like a doctorate or just like a bachelor's degree or something like that. I'm not familiar enough. She was married for 2 years. I know she's just got recently divorced because they just couldn't get around their differences. Like her being a former porn star, that difference, I don't know. takes a really a strong man. Man's very strong and very confident and secure in his masculinity to really make that work. So, no, she's a prostitute. She's not a sex worker. Ladies, sorry, OnlyFans girls, you're prostitutes, more or less. I mean, you meet the definition, pretty much meet the Wikipedia dictionary definition of what a prostitute is. Okay, you're taking money for getting after it. Okay, it's the oldest profession. You know, at least lean into it, right? Yes, I will. Thank you. At least lean into it. At least own it. Right? Don't try to. It goes back to when I talk about how it's very language based, right? Oh, they're not pros. They're not whores. How dare you call her a whore? She's a sex worker. She's a therapist. She helps people. She gives them relief. She gives them something. I don't know. And thanks for that. Okay, nice. I'm glad you guys like the Wednesday shows. Keep it going. But she's a pro, and she's 29 years old. And what do we say? What demarcation is at 29 years old there, class?
Hello there, children. How's it going?
What demarcation would that be? The epiphany phase. Yes, you're correct. Thank you. Yes, go to the front of the class. So she is most definitely in the epiphany phase. She is now right at the end of her 18 to 28, well, probably a year past that now, her 18 to 28 window for prime peak sexual marketability. And this is usually, as I've said before, if you saw the Tomi Lahren video, you're going to hear a lot of the same rhetoric in this video right here that Tomi Lahren was bemoaning when she was 28 years old, actually, too. And now she's married, of course, and she did things for a little while. What was this? She did porn. She did porn for a few months and then blamed men for 4 years. Thank you. But she's a porn star. And a very well downloaded one, apparently. Now, she, of course, tries to spin this yarn that she's only made like $12,000 in porn, which I find very, very, very hard to believe. However, she is one of, I think, really probably one of the main reasons why she's even doing this right now, or she's even on, she's on TikTok, whatever. Amber Rose owns it, yeah. Was it Brandy Love? Brandy Love owns it. She's like 50 years old. Why don't you? Why can't you? Nothing like an old whore. But she's 29 years old, and so she is officially in what we call the epiphany phase. And I will explain what the epiphany phase is here in just a moment. You know what? I'm just going to have to star some of these and come back. I didn't realize you guys would be so down with Mia Khalifa. Is she hot? Do you guys think she's hot? She's one of the more recognizable porn stars. She's certainly one of the, she's made a name for herself. I don't say she's a household name, but she's certainly an internet name, right? Would you say, yeah, Khalifa is most definitely one of the Tatianas that Tomi Lahren was complaining about and whining about back in 2020. And she's been married. She tried getting married. That didn't work out for her. And by the way, Emily Ratajkowski is a piece of work too. She's 31 years old. And she also recently, I guess, decided that she was going to be estranged. I like that word too. From Sebastian Bear McLeod. He was that's the film producer guy. And she was trying to make it work with our good friend here. I was looking at some of her stuff. I'll come to like she's almost just as good. She's almost just as good as Mia in all of this. But I think what's funny is like Mia, I think who's the other girl? There's been like at least 2 or 3 girls who were like infamous porn stars who just got out of it. And Riley one of them? I hope I'm getting the name right. Because she just had a kid and she just got married or something, and she got out of Riley Reid. That's it. She just got out of porn or something, and she got married, and now she wants to live this domestic life. Like, oh, I'm retired at what, 31? How old is Riley Reid? How old is Riley Reid? And again, another infamous porn star. Definitely name that name I know. Thank you, Sterling Krubler, for educating me on Pornology 101. But she's one. There's I think there's one. Yeah, Lana Rhoades. That's right. Lana Rhoades was the other one. And Mia Khalifa actually was supposed to be retired, and didn't she get back into it and then she's retired again? I don't really know because I can't really keep track of all of these prostitutes. So when I'm seeing this, it's like it almost seems like she wanted to get on this show because it's like she's looking for the attention that was already like sort of being redirected towards like Riley Reid and Lana Rhoades. So it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I was the original. I'm the one who was I was mad at the porn industry before all y'all bitches. So I thought it was kind of funny that she's even doing this to begin with. But a lot of the stuff that she gets into here is every last thing that she says in this interview, at least according to the 3-minute clip here, is you're going to hear language that you probably heard from, well, actually definitely heard from Tomi Lahren, but this is the language of the epiphany phase. And there are very unique phrases, and there's it's a very anxious, anxiety producing, urgent time for women between the ages of 29 and 31. I've done episodes about the epiphany phase, and it's one thing to see a woman in the epiphany phase who's prepared for it, or like, it's kind of like, you can say, okay, like if you're red pill enough, if you've read my work, if you've read the first and the second books, you'll know where this woman is at. In fact, while we're here, while I got you here, this is a timeline from my second book. This is from Preventive Medicine. And so if you look at right where she's at right now, the 29 to 30 range, that's the epiphany phase, and the transition phases are right there. She is being cycled out of the sexual marketplace. And I think that hits women who are like very attractive women. When they get to that point, they have to find some way to either transition out of that very gracefully, or they fight it tooth and nail. And the ones that fight it tooth and nail are usually the ones who've made a living or have learned in some way in the 10 years between 18 and 28, they found some way to invest their egos in this and invest themselves in their sexual agency. So when you have a woman who makes a shit ton of money, and she's, say, between 18 and 28, and then she hits 29 to 30 to 31. And by the way, Emily Ratajkowski, or Ratatouille, is 31 as well. So both of these women are in the epiphany phase at this point. If you're wondering what the epiphany phase is, here it is again. Okay. So right there, epiphany and the transition phase. This is like the competition anxiety right around this time becomes fierce. And it also, the frustration and the anxiety that it produces a lot of the conversation that you're just about to hear between these two. So